We are a river city, a bold city, the First Coast, a place to create and to belong. Here, the sun shines a little brighter, and so do the people. We share a love for our region, a pride for JAX, and a passion for the beautiful game, dedicated to giving everyone a sporting chance. Together, we will elevate soccer and sport in our community by lifting every voice. We are Sporting Club Jacksonville. We are Sporting JAX.
And hello, welcome into the Sporting JAX Report. I'm Cole Pepper. Coming up, promotion relegation coming to America, how it will work. Plus, we hear from a local product who just returned from abroad representing the United States. We take a closer look at the second week of the USL Championship season. Plus, Becky Burley joins us on how Carolina Ascent have stayed in the USL Super League playoff race all season long. But let's start with a major announcement made this week by Sporting JAX. On Thursday, the club introduced the club's first head of soccer when Mark Warburton was introduced as the club's sporting director. Warburton has impressive credentials, having coached in the UK for such clubs as Brentford, Rangers in Scotland, Nottingham Forest, and Queen's Park Rangers. He's also developed a reputation for developing some of the most successful youth academies in the game. As a former consultant with the English FA, he established two of the most successful professional academies in English football at Brentford and Nottingham Forest. And he was instrumental in launching the Next Gen European Player Development League in 2011, which transformed youth talent development on an international scale. Now, he'll tackle soccer in America with teams launching in both the men's and the women's leagues, and he's ready for the challenge and the great opportunities ahead of him.
Yeah, it's important to understand the American psyche, what they want from their sports. They want to win, of course, who doesn't want to win? But it's about doing it the right way, about building the right environment for the players and for the staff and for the fans, and making sure that the experience of the fans when they come to watch both teams play is a good one. They have to enjoy following the team. We're in the results industry, but also the entertainment industry, so it's important we get both right. You have to have an environment that's conducive to learning and to development, but one that the players and staff enjoy coming to every day. If you enjoy going to work, you enjoy being a better person, better end product. And everything is geared towards success on the field in terms of the style of play, entertaining the fans, and of course you want to win as well. So you need to get all factors right, try and tick all boxes. My job is never to tell the coach what team to pick or what formation to play. That's what the coach gets paid for. My job is to support him or her in that responsibility. But I want us to have certain traits, certain identities in terms of how we play, the intensity of our play, how quickly we move the ball, the speed of ball movement is really important, knowing our jobs, being cohesive with and without the ball. All of these factors, Riley, are really important to me.
So you're doing something that very few people have done before, which is you're coming to a league, on one hand, that's not even a year old, to a club that's going to have two different teams and two different leagues, and you're setting the culture on the soccer side for all of this. What are the important things you want to make sure to land here early on that will kind of reverberate throughout?
I think clarity is key, communication is key. There's certain generic traits which will spread across men and women. That's really important in terms of the quality of environment, quality of training pitches, food, etc., all the basic provisions. But then the specificity of making sure that we understand what the women need and what the men need. They're two different animals in terms of what they need in terms of performing for soccer. So it's making sure that we understand their requirements and delivering where we can. We all have budgets. We can only work towards the budget, but you have to make sure you utilise it as well as you possibly can and give them the best chance of success. If we get that right, then we're in a good place.
There's an opportunity here on the women's side in a first division league to build something that down the road could be considered the best pro women's soccer team in the best pro women's soccer country. What will it take to make it to that?
That has to be the aim, but that sounds like cheap talk. I'm sure every single person gets into a certain job and says we're going to be number one. But you have to make sure you understand what's needed, what's required, understand the standard. I see people over here, UK as well, say he or she's a world-class player. No, they're not. They're good. They're not world-class. It's understanding what is the level we require. And we have to have players here, Cole, who are desperate to play for the club, desperate to embrace the opportunity that we present to them. And likewise, we have to make sure we give them that best chance of success. So if we get that balance right, then we're in a good position.
decision making on the first coach is huge with that as well. How are you finding those conversations, and what's really stood out to you in that process?
It's difficult. I'm saying that in a nice way. You want it to be difficult because you're looking for a very particular type of individual. I believe that I'd like to have a woman in charge of the women's team. That's might be my first aim, but you have to find the right candidate and make sure it's the right candidate. So we've had many interviews so far, and the process is ongoing. But it's finding someone who has the energy, the desire, dynamism, intensity, all such words, allied to a good, sound knowledge of the game and also a clear philosophy. What does he or she want from her teams? How does she want them to play? What represents success for that individual in terms of individual players and the team collective? So those type of questions are ongoing, and it makes the process difficult. But you have to, as you rightly say, it's a huge decision to get the coach right. And I want someone who really understands what we're trying to do here at Jacksonville.
How important is it to have local players with local ties here, given an opportunity with the club?
This has come up a lot. I've been surprised by how many people have referred to the need to pack the squad with Jacksonville players. And my response would be, you pack them with Jacksonville players as long as they're good enough. And that's the key. If you go back to the UK, the academy players coming through, the fans love to see the homegrown players. They'll always be more patient with the homegrown players, only if they're good enough. Because trust me, I've seen it when they're not good enough and the crowd quickly turn because they want to win. The crowd will tell you all you like, we want homegrown, bring the young ones through for the local area. Are they good enough to impact the team and add value to what the team and the coach is doing? So, yeah, absolutely. We're going to scour the local area and make sure we give young players a chance to perform. And some are late maturers. Some need that time and work with them to develop their attributes. But you have to make sure, Cole, at the end of the day, can they go out there and perform for the fans, for the club and for the jersey?
Now we welcome in Mauricio Ruiz. Now this is perhaps the most significant hire the club will make. What does Mark Warburton have to do here early on to have success?
Well, the good thing is that not all of it is falling into place right away, right? You have the youth academy, the merger with Florida League that has happened in the spring. That Mark has been getting familiar with that landscape, and then we're moving into the women's launch for August to bring the first women's professional team to Jacksonville, and that comes with a little bit of a pilot with the W League and the USL 2 as well. And then fast forward into 26, 27 with the men's team. So, he's had some priorities as far as setting up the academy, which has a lot of experience with, in his previous stops with Brentford, Nottingham Forest, and that in the FA as well. So getting the academy in place, working in relationship with the local market, and then putting together unbelievable technical staff to lead our first women's professional team has to be on top of his priority list, and I know he's working hard on that.
We'll hear more analysis on Mark Warburton's hire from Becky Burley coming up in just a bit. For the moment, though, let's turn to the USL Championship game of the week. This week, a battle between a couple of teams out west, Las Vegas Lights and New Mexico United, a game highlighted by the return of former Las Vegas manager Jenny Sanchez, who last year guided Las Vegas to one of the most impressive turnarounds in league history. To Las Vegas we go, and a lot on the line in this one. Second game of the season for both sides. No score through the first 52 minutes. A sloppy giveaway by the Lights, and Mackenzie Gaines takes advantage for New Mexico. United lead it 1-0. 69th minute now, and you're going to see more sloppy defending by Las Vegas, the home team, that led to more celebrations for New Mexico United. Marlon Vargas gets behind and feeds Greg Hurst, who puts it away to make it a 2-0 New Mexico lead. Hurst's second goal of the year. As you take another look at it, just bad defending all around. 3 minutes later, Valentin Noel sets up Johnny Rodriguez, and Las Vegas has cut the United lead in half. 90th minute now, going down to the wire. Las Vegas trying to even things out. Rory O'Driscoll off the bench sends a high cross towards Joe Zhao. It's 2-2 at the end of regulation time. So on to stoppage time we go. Would we have a thriller at the last? The final kick of the game. Will Seymour in the corner. It's an Olympico. What a goal. New Mexico United wins it. Mauricio, this was an emotional win for New Mexico and a tough one for Las Vegas.
Ironically, Las Vegas was actually the enforcer. I mean, two bad mistakes by their defense early in trying to build a little bit too cute and and building out of pressure. and forking off 2 goals there early in the second half, because the first half was pretty tight between the two teams. But give Vegas a lot of credit. They came back into life, got the first goal, got the equalizer, and it really looked like even in extra time there were going to be the winners there. And a set piece, another mistake by the goalkeeper, kind of getting blocked, and almost an Olympico goal. I know there's a tap in by a New Mexico player, but what an exciting game. Resilient team in Vegas. They definitely felt like they should have more in that game, and I agree that they should have. And two bad mistakes by their defense that has to get cleaned up.
No doubt about it. All right, come join Sporting JAX at the 16th Annual Stand Up and Stride Domestic Violence Awareness Walk next weekend. The event supports the great work done by Hubbard House in our community. The event opens at 8 a.m. on Saturday. The walk starts at 9. To register, use the QR code on the screen. We'll see you downtown next Saturday. Season tickets are now on sale for Sporting JAX inaugural USL Super League season, kicking off in August at Hodges Stadium. Tickets start as low as $10 per game for students and go up to the field seats and premium hospitality. Join the movement and be part of the first professional women's team in Jacksonville. Go to sportingjax.com or call our new number, 904-863-KICK, for more information. Still to come, Becky Burley joins us to give her perspective on Mark Warburton being hired as sporting director. That's next as the Sporting JAX report rolls on. You can catch every USL Super League game streaming on Peacock. Tonight at 7:30, Fort Lauderdale hosts Spokane. Then tomorrow, DC Power faces Brooklyn FC at 2. Carolina Ascent goes to Lexington SC at 4. Every USL Super League game streaming live on Peacock. Let's go to the highlights from this past weekend. Let's start in Brooklyn, where the home team entered the weekend atop the standings, but Fort Lauderdale United was hot on their trail. 32nd minute, Shania Gordon gets a loose ball in the box. The turn and the goal, it's 1-0 Fort Lauderdale. 67th minute now, Brooklyn having a tough time clearing it out. The first shot is blocked, but it comes to Gordon again, and she puts it away. Fort Lauderdale 8 straight unbeaten as they move to the top of the Super League table, a 2-0 victory. Now to Spokane, hosting DC Power, 26th minute. Zephyr on the run. Katie Murray takes it to the top of the box and then unleashes. What a strike, 1-0 Spokane. DC would score a pair early in the second half to take a 2-1 lead, then this. A handball in the box right there. That's a penalty. Amina Ekic steps up for Spokane. She is all but unstoppable from the spot. Easily puts it away. We're level at 2. Then the dramatics in stoppage time. Ekic off the free kick. She does it again. Her second of the game, 5th of the season. Spokane wins it 3-2. Finally, Tampa Bay Sun hosting Carolina Ascent, 14th minute. Natasha Flint with a little chip over the goalkeeper. Only goal of the match. Tampa Bay wins it 1-0. Let's take a look at the standings in the USL Super League. And as we mentioned, Brooklyn came in as the top team. They now have company. Fort Lauderdale United level on points with a game in hand at the top of the Super League standings, with Dallas Trinity a point behind. Carolina Ascent still in the top 4. Tampa Bay trying to claw their way into playoff contention. And now we welcome in Becky Burley, who joins us. Becky, all right, let's talk about the big story with Sporting JAX right now. That is Mark Warburton being hired as the sporting director and head of soccer. Your thoughts on this signing for Sporting JAX?
Well, that is a big story. I think it's really important to have someone at the head of the organization that has the skills that Mark has, because a lot of times people get promoted for the ability to coach or to be part of the sporting side of it, but not the business side of it. I think what makes Mark really exciting is he has so many skills in terms of academy, coaching, business, all of it. He's the total package.
All right, let's take a look at another team in the USL Super League. We've been profiling all the teams here in the second half of the season. Let's go to Carolina, where the Ascent has been a team in the top half of the table all season long. What are you seeing from Carolina so far?
You know, Carolina, it has to start with their coach. Philip Pooley just has so much experience with the national team of the U.S. So many people just say great things about him in terms of creating a team. So I think it starts there. But then when you look at a little bit deeper with that team, one of the things they have is a consistent goal scorer in Mia Corbin. And she's had both a good first half and certainly a good start to the second half. She played collegiately at Cal, but then had experience in the NWSL and kind of all over the world. I think she was in Australia, Italy, a whole bunch of different places. And then the other thing I think this team has done a really good job of is getting some homegrown players. They've got a couple of players from UNC, from NC State, and I think that really helps the fan engagement in terms of players that they've probably seen before.
Yeah, a real good blend there when you talk about finding players close to home and maybe not so close to home. We're seeing really the template being decided for what the USL Super League teams for the future, including maybe Sporting JAX, should be looking at. Becky, thanks so much. We'll talk to you again on the radio. And if you sign up for season tickets now for the USL Super League season, you'll receive a limited edition inaugural season scarf. Be part of the first pro women's team in Jacksonville history. Go to sportingjax.com or use that QR code on your screen for more. Still to come, our youth soccer spotlight. What a former state championship winner is doing representing the United States. That's next as the Sporting JAX report rolls on. Coming soon, Sporting JAX will be unveiling the inaugural kit. You can already get your official Sporting JAX merchandise, from shirts and hats to sweatshirts and scarves. Head to sportingjax.com/shop or use the QR code on your screen to get your official club gear today. It's time now for the Youth Soccer Spotlight presented by Bearded Pig Barbecue. And this week we are hearing from a local soccer star who represented the United States recently, Avery Robinson. From winning the state championship at Creekside in her senior year to playing as a freshman at UCLA, Robinson has been playing at a high level for a long time. She was invited to the U.S. U17 national team, and recently she played for the U19s in an international tournament in Spain against the likes of the Netherlands, England, and the host country. Robinson says she takes inspiration for her game by watching some of the U.S. women's national team players at her position.
While we were in camp, the She Believes Cup was happening. So we got to kind of, obviously with the time change, it was hard because it was really late to watch it for our time. But I mean, they were playing in the same system as we were. And so it was cool to watch because while we were playing for the U19 level, the full team was playing the same exact way. So it was cool because you get to see amazing players that playing in your position and you can just learn directly from them.
So who were you watching specifically?
I was watching like Sam Coffey, all the kind of midfielders. Like there was some clips with Jaden Shaw in it. She's great. It just all the midfielders, honestly. And honestly, Sam Coffey is a really good, I think she's underrated on the national team. She's very good at stepping in and winning the ball and reading the play. And that's what the staff wanted from me and the other holding midfielders. And so being able to watch her was really cool because she's very good at what she does. And it was just a direct example of what I should be doing.
And there's so many great, especially female soccer players from our area, which of course leads into the thought of how many could represent Jacksonville with Sporting JAX as a pro team. That must be something that pops in your mind from time to time about what could happen in the future.
Right. I completely agree. I think it's the most amazing thing ever that team is made. I think it's going to be huge for the area. And, the young girls in the area being able to look up to a team there directly in our city is so cool. And I think it's huge for the sport in that area. And, I feel like Jacksonville has always had such great talent and has such great potential. And I think this is just going to raise the standard even higher for soccer in that area. And, me personally, in my career, I think that would be amazing to be able to play in my city. At least, I don't know when it would happen, but I feel like I want to play in Jacksonville for at least some part of my career. I think that would be just a full circle moment to be able to play in the place that I grew up and the place that my family is, my friends are. I would love to play there. And I think there's so much talent that was born and raised in this area. And I think if they came back too, we can have a very powerhouse of a team.
It is just amazing. The more young female soccer players, whether you're talking high school, college, what have you, who talk about the impact that they see coming from Sporting JAX and the USL Super League, you hear these things over and over and over again. They're talking about the possibility for their careers, but almost every one of them is also talking about the impact on younger girls playing soccer and the impact that can have. Really puts a smile on your face. Also interesting to hear Robinson talk about the impact that Emma Hayes is having on the entire U.S. women's soccer system, all the way down to the youth national team level. She's implementing an approach to the game that suits all levels, and the fact that Avery can look at players like Sam Coffey and others really shows the impact that Hayes continues to have. Be sure to join Mauricio Ruiz, Becky Burley, and me every Tuesday night for the Sporting JAX Soccer Hour. Coming up this next week on Monday, the show will be shifted to Monday, and we will have long-form conversations with Mark Warburton, learn more about the first head of soccer and sporting director for Sporting JAX. That is Monday night this coming week on 1010XL and 1010XL.com. Still to come, for the first time in American soccer, promotion relegation coming at a high level. We take a closer look at the impact. That's next as the Sporting JAX report rolls on. You can watch the Sporting JAX report most every Saturday at noon on NBC 12. Next week, we are at 12:30 once again, immediately before Premier League Soccer on NBC. You can also find us on demand, First Coast News Plus, and on the Sporting JAX YouTube channel. On Wednesday, the USL announced that starting in 2028, a system of promotion and relegation will be implemented among the USL League One, USL Championship, and the yet-to-be-named First Division League set to launch in 2027. Mauricio, what impact will this have on the USL and on the entire American soccer landscape?
Games of consequence, which is what we want at the top and at the bottom, in the first division, second division, and third division, and how that all comes together in what we call a true open pyramid system that currently does not exist in the US. So we're excited about that. USL has a lot to figure out still and how that's all going to come together, but we're super thrilled that they've made the commitment to come together and actually figure it out. So the fact that's on the table, we're going to get some answers soon, but games of consequence, nobody can tank it anymore because it matters in relationship to what next year looks like for you and for your organization. So it's a step in the right direction. We're excited and cannot wait to hear more on what's yet to come.
Thanks, Mal. We're going to talk more about this on Monday night on the radio show on 1010XL, 6 p.m. with Mark Warburton as well. Get his perspective, certainly a guy who knows a lot about promotion and relegation. Stay up to date with what's happening with Sporting JAX on social media. You see our handles there. A lot of big news coming in the coming weeks as we get ready for the inaugural season. For Mauricio Ruiz and Becky Burley, I'm Cole Pepper. Thanks so much for watching the Sporting JAX Report.